Thank you for joining us for Chatting in the Void, a conversational podcast hosted by Cthulhu Tilly and Hallik. Episode 12 of Chatting in the Void. On time, you know, because we're professionals. Wouldn't be us being late. That's definitely not us. Today,
just 10 minutes late?
Yeah, 10 minutes late? Absolutely not. Would never happen. Not in my house. Okay, I'm going to make all of my announcements. Ender, why don't you say hi to everybody? We have a guest with us. Ender, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Hello, dear podcast listeners. I am Coender, the illustrious person named Ender, and Co. Yep.
Coender.
I'm not a streamer, I'm just here.
I mean, you could be a streamer.
I could be a streamer if I had better internet.
That's true.
You know, that's not. How much upload do you have?
6 upload points. Whatever upload.
Six.
6.
He has 6.
How much upload do you have? Yes.
How much upload do you have? A number. I have a number. That's how much upload I have. It's even worse than mine somehow, which is actually kind of impressive because mine's not very good.
No.
So
it's an old building that I live in, and eventually it should be upgraded to fiber internet, which will allow me to.
That'll be awesome.
Online. And maybe
that'll be great.
Try streaming, hang out with some streamer peoples.
Yeah, be weird with us. It would be pretty neat. Yeah.
I'm an Elden Ring streamer a year late.
Yeah, exactly.
Better late than never.
That's supposed to be at the bottom. Why is it in front of your face? Hold on a second. To drag things around in the overlay. Okay. So, Ender, why are you here with us and you're not a streamer?
I am here because I have extremely valuable opinions to add into your conversation, and I am the podcast #1 fan. And if
that
you
is true
for any popular person, they'll become your friend. That's the thing you need to learn about Twitch.
He makes a valuable point there.
So all you Pokemon tier 3 subs, just simp harder.
Yeah, and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works, right?
I just religiously listen to Tilly talk, and now I get to talk to Tilly.
It's true. That's how it works. It's very true. You
For those who are actually reading the chat, I hope at least one person got that reference that I put in chat.
What reference did you put in chat? I'll go look at it here in a second. Oh, these are not the droids. They're not the droids you're looking for. Okay, overlay is done. Discord notifications. You're number one. No, you simp exclusively for one thing. You don't simp for me. Excuse you. You simp for this, which I will get set up here in 2 seconds because I forgot to. There we go. Perfect. All right.
Okay, 2 things, Jets. First of all, my name is one word. Don't put a random space in the middle of the name. I'm Coender. I'm Coender. And I am the #1 simp. So
you gotta type in CO-Ender. There you go.
Yeah, he actually listened to the first podcast episode before you did.
Yeah, I gave it its first ever rating on Spotify.
It's true.
Damn.
It's true. He was the very first listener. King of the Sims is true.
I don't even remember. Although I think we went ham on Warframe or something like that in the first stream.
Warframe and I think Overwatch.
Yeah.
Overwatch too. Oh my god, that game is so good.
True.
Now that anybody that I've watched that's streaming Genshin or Dota or whatever, whenever they mention whether or not they should play Overwatch, I just tell them no, the game's dead. Just stop. Just forget about it.
It's true. It's true.
Move on with your life, man.
It's true. I play Overwatch. I wish I could do the same. I wish I could just move on.
Yeah.
Just play a different game, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of not moving on from a game, have any of you ever heard of this old Korean MMO called Hearts by any chance?
No, but I thought you were about to bring up Genshin Impact, and I was about to be very disappointed.
Genshin is not in Korean. It's Chinese based.
I don't fucking know. You look like.
Genshin
Does it look like I know?
Game, so I don't know why
It's a gacha
you're
game.
about it so much.
It's a gacha
game, but it's a fun gacha game.
Yeah, but it's a gacha game.
And there's nothing wrong with rolling for animated waifus.
And speaking of animated waifus, new patch coming this week for Genshin. Let's go!
Oh my god. I'm surrounded by them.
Yes.
I mean,
You
I
must
haven't
join
rolled
us.
since I pulled Sayu. That was all I needed.
Sayu?
Sayu, yeah.
I need one more character that follows you around to make a full Sayu meme build just for fun. But anyways, so talking about Rusty Hearts, it's a very old MMO that came out back in 2012, 2013. So it's been over a decade since it came.
We're starting this early. They'll be back in a second, sorry. Discord has crashed on me. Alright, we're back.
We're taking this whole talking into the void thing a little too literal, truly. I'm gonna have to say.
I forgot that no one could hear us if he wasn't here anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
I
Discord
hope that,
crashed.
I hope that you have
We're
fun
back.
watching that later today.
I will. It'll be tomorrow, but yeah, I'll have to edit that out. Okay. Continuing conversation.
Okay,
Yeah, I will.
Rusty Hearts, 2012.
Rusty Hearts, 2012.
In 2016, they shut down the game. But the game had a really big, not big, but passionate following for it. Okay. And I was part of that following.
Right.
And then one day, a few months before the game shut down, somebody contacted me in Discord and was like,
Right.
hey, we're doing this project thing. We're making a private server for Rusty Hearts. You want in? And I'm like, yeah, sounds great. So we went in, and oh my god, it's been such a roller coaster ride ever since. They've stripped the code from RAM. We had because it works on its own engine. It's not like a Unity game. It's nothing like that. It's its own proprietary engine. We have to strip everything from RAM. Look at literally the ones and zeros. The hex code. To be more.
Oh no.
And break down how files work one by one to figure out how we could make this private server work. And I'm happy to say that after 5 years, we've gone halfway through the game.
Wow.
We're releasing a patch. It's actually the client is live now, but we're releasing a patch for that next week next week. So finally, the other half of the game that we've been missing for the longest time is gonna be available for the players to play in our terms. I'm so excited about that. If Genshin Impact wasn't having a massive update next week, that would be all I would ever be fucking talking and thinking about.
So you're essentially reviving a dead MMO?
Correct. We are reviving a dead MMO.
That's cool as hell.
So, what they tried to do, what was it? They tried to do that with a couple of games, and then they got shut down.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to remember what game it was.
The publisher was Perfect World Entertainment. It's a big publisher for Asian MMOs here in the US. But what happened is the contract expired and they didn't renew the contract with the actual developer, who is a Korean-based developer. What happened by the time that they shut down, one of the reasons that they shut down is because they fucking went bankrupt. So there's literally nobody, there's no body or organization that can come and stop us, because the game is stuck in limbo and the people who own it don't give a fuck or are bankrupt, and yeah, we're not. I don't want to say get away with murder here, but we are basically free to revive the game without any legal repercussion because again, the original developers dead, and the people who hold the rights to the game is some weird like Southeast Asian company that turned it into like a weird mobile game that nobody plays. So
interesting.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a long time, and it's finally the later half is paying off. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna be streaming it on my channel when we do release the next level cap. But what took the longest too is that the game was a full-blown spaghetti code. Like holy crap! The original developers were not very good at developing, put it lightly. So a lot of the time had to be spent on security and like background stuff, like server side stuff. Like basically, we turned the game on almost unhackable. Like the game cannot be hacked anymore. And oh my god, have people fucking tried to hack our private server? We don't know why, and it's always some Chinese guy. We know by their IPs. It's always some Chinese guy who wants to come in and tries to hack the server and then try to sell shit to other players. But no, it's like we got on top of that, and part of the reason it took us 5 years to get to where we are is because one of the main like server developers. He was trying really hard to make sure that the game could not be hacked. And finally, we're there. We can now. They're now the main focus is now to content, and they even worked on delayed the patch even further just to like be able to create their own dungeons, create their own skills, create their own animations. We went from working with rocks and sticks to straight up being able to add new dungeons to the server. So those guys are nuts.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
All in their spare time. So yeah, before we move on to another topic, I just want to shout out the project's called Rusty Hearts Revolution. So if you just Google Rusty Hearts Revolution, you'll find the Discord. You're bound to find it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're right there. I'm excited.
That's really exciting. That's awesome. How long have you been working on that project?
I worked a little bit on it. I worked on a file here and there. I didn't do much of the hard work. Most of what I did was balancing and community management. I wasn't like the big coding guy, or I still not am. But ever since 2006, I've been part of that project, and probably the two main devs who've been working on it have probably been working it somewhere since 2014. So it's been almost an 8-year trip for them.
Wow. That's a long development cycle.
It has been, again, because these guys are doing it on their own free spare time. They have full-time jobs, they have families to take care of, and COVID slowed things down, even for them, because, it slowed everybody. It doesn't matter if
they're going to be
before or after.
Are they going to be selling the game at all, or is it just a free-to-play game? Are they making the money back on all this effort?
Oh, absolutely not. Listen, it's 8 years worth of spare time working on a project on 2 to 3 people. Like, no, they've already put more man hours in it than any game than anybody could fucking pay in a sense. We have had people, spend on the server through donations and stuff like that. But trust me, because I can see like all those donations, I see them.
Right.
Most of that money goes to another developer who we have to pay for his work on parts of the server that nobody has the skills to work on.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
Any money that people donate, it goes either straight to him or paying the host that's hosting the server. And even if those guys made any profit, which I haven't received any amount of money from it, and I don't want to either, but even if they did make some fucking profit, it's nothing compared to the amount of hours that they had to fucking put through to get this shit going. It's insane. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if Ender, if you dabble a little bit in coding or not. I have no idea what you do for a living.
Barely. Little tiny bit in college.
maybe Tuli can like understand what I mean. They didn't have anything, right? It's a proprietary engine, and then they had to rip it from RAM, and then look at the hex code, and little by little make their own server. Like
so they're essentially completely reverse engineering it using hex code, which is not. Yeah, that's not fun.
Not efficient. Say that.
That's not a project I would ever sign up for. I'm not gonna lie.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about this game is that sure, 99.9% of people never heard of it. Sure, it's a very weird game that barely had any audience to begin with.
Right.
But the people who stuck with it know what the game was like. They know that the game was worth so much more than the developer and the publisher gave it, and it was such a special, awesome game that we just stuck around. I can't forget about Rusty Hearts. I still remember back in 2014, 2015. That's when I first started streaming. The things that I streamed was Rusty Hearts. That's kind of like what got me started. And my original YouTube channel is a Rusty Hearts channel. And the thing is, the game is really, really cool in the same way that Melee is really, really cool. But like, not a whole lot of people. It's not like the mainstream kind of thing. If you get
right. Yeah.
But Melee has a really close knit following for what the game makes it, what the game is, and it's the same thing for Rusty Hearts. Rusty Hearts is a very, 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 very special MMO that is completely flew under the radar for a lot of people. And the people that did stuck with it and ended up loving it so much that they could never let go. And that's the same like sentiment that those people had to have, because there's no way you work for 8 years on a project with zero to no pay for something that you don't absolutely fucking love,
Right.
And that's the thing. That's what we've been doing this whole time. I wish that they could that I could have helped more with the reverse engineering and stuff, but I was just outclassed, man. The shit that they're doing is insane.
Yeah, it's really cool that they're putting life back into an old MMO, because it's always sad when an MMO starts to die. And like, I've definitely played in a few where you just kind of have to leave because the community evaporates, and it's like, there's no one here anymore. Yeah, what's the point of playing an MMO? If you played Spiral Knights,
it's like once the community starts to die, the game starts to die, because it's always integral in the gameplay. It's playing with other people. But Spiral Knights died too.
The MMO.
Without the MM.
It's the MMORPG without the MMO. Yeah, there we go. That's probably a better phrase for it.
Yeah.
Man. I miss those days, man. I met the craziest motherfuckers playing that game. Yeah. And what's funny too is it wasn't even like just guys, For some odd reason, the game attracted an almost even amount of female players too. And we're talking about 2012, back when girl gamers were still kind of like,
a rare breed.
A rare breed, yeah. But for some reason, half of my guild, or more than half of my guild, if I remember correctly, 60% of my guild was female players. I have no idea why they fucking stuck around.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's your guild or if that was a game state thing.
It was not just my guild. I can guarantee. Okay. Because I was part of the biggest guild.
That's fascinating.
I have a funny story to tell about that guild too. But I was part of the biggest guild of the server, and back when the servers, especially after the servers merged, there was a lot of drama between guilds. There was this item called the World Megaphone, which is very self-descriptive, but for the ones that don't catch it, where it lets you send a message to everybody that's online on the server. And what we would do is we would just start drama and talking shit to other guilds using the World Megaphones. It's the funniest fucking thing in the world.
That's great.
Why do I have a cup on my face?
I don't know. I felt like putting a cup on your face.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, put the man in a jar.
Yeah, he's in a jar now. Hallik's in a jar.
I miss my MMO days for sure.
Yeah.
Like, there was an old MMO called Luck Catchers, which is the reason I started using Discord, because the guild I joined in that game used Discord, and it was my first ever Discord experience.
Whoa.
So this was when I was a little kid.
Ventrilo and TeamSpeak.
Remember when we all used Skype for gaming?
Oh dear God, no.
No, Skype was so bad.
Oh God, bad memories.
Yeah,
Skype was bad memories.
Continue your story. What about that MMO?
Oh, that Luck Catchers was a game about flying airships and doing like trade routes. It was, in hindsight, super boring because you were literally doing shipping missions.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was part of the largest North American server, our North American guild, and our server was North America and Russia. So the biggest North American guild and the biggest Russian guild fucking hated each other.
Yep.
So
I love that.
we were constantly talking about being at war with Russia, and it was a weird dynamic.
When art reflects reality.
Straight up Cold War simulator over here. Yikes.
Yeah, we would fly missions over Russian territory and just bomb the shit out of them in a video game. Which, just in a video game.
No, you're totally talking IRL, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
No.
Just for the
When
record,
I was 13,
this man is a
bombing the shit out
V12
of
pilot
Russians.
and dropped some hard fucking bombs all over Russian territory.
Were we all bombing Russia when we were 13?
Yeah, yep. That was me right there, dude. Co-pilot, let's go. Let's drop some hot loads on these Ruskies.
Yeah, you gotta
Jesus.
love old MMO drama.
It was the best.
true.
It kept the game alive because I was big into causing that drama too, because I knew that if the two top guilds are causing drama with one another, guess what? It's the best fucking advertisement that those two guilds are ever gonna get.
Yeah.
Best recruitment campaign. Just start shit with the second biggest guild or the first.
You know,
since you happen to be in.
The old MMORPG that I played was fucking RuneScape.
Oh, when do you started? When did you stop playing?
What?
When do you
When did I start playing?
do you start playing, and what version do you stop playing? That's actually quite
I
important.
started playing on the second revision. It was I can't remember what it was called. Is when the premium stuff was starting to get actually traction, so they were starting to implement a lot of premium features.
Okay.
And so it was a transition from 2 to 3, and my guild may have been responsible for a few of the features, quote unquote, that were added in the next version, because I was like 14, and I had nothing to do. And I was a chaotic little crazy person, right? As we all know.
Setting fires filled with snakes. Yep, got it.
Exactly. Yep. Kind of the same vibe. Only in this case, it was I had a RuneScape account, and I had one friend who played RuneScape with me, and we'd both gotten into this huge guild. And I'd been playing for a long time at this point, like probably 2 or 3 years. And I was a high enough level that I was like high enough up in the guild that the leader of the guild, who'd been the long-standing leader of the guild for like as long as the guild had existed, who'd like founded the guild, decided that he didn't want to play RuneScape anymore and had stepped down. And then the immediate like 5 or 6 people below him were like, I don't want to lead this guild. Absolutely not. And bailed out of the guild. And I was apparently just the next one in line when the last person bailed, and ended up in charge of this guild. It was one of the biggest guilds at the time. It had like 5,000 people in it.
Hell,
and I was like, I know what I'm doing. Because I had a plan.
Hold on, because that's exactly what happened to me in Rusty Hearts. I joined as an officer in the biggest guild, and then the leader quit, and the sub-leaders quit, and I was the next one in line. So before you go with your story, I'm going to tell mine because mine's shorter. Okay. What did I do? I went straight to the guild vault and spent all the fucking money and resources in the guild vault and made my character as fucking OP as I could. And I did it all on stream. It was great. All right, continue.
Wow, you're a bad person.
See, I did something slightly more chaotic than that, than just stealing from all of my friends.
Oh no, I feel like I know this story.
You've heard this story before, I'm sure. So this story is how I got banned from RuneScape.
Love it.
So essentially, I was 14 and I had been studying economics as a side hobby because I was a fucking nerd.
As one does.
And I realized that there were 24 global servers that were accessible. And in those 24 global servers, there were only 4 places on each of them that you could mine coal. And I now had 5,000 people at my beck and call. And so I turned my guild into a coal monopoly. I became a coal baron in RuneScape. And so I got people on our shifts, because we had people from all over the world, right?
Right.
So all week long, for like 2 or 3 months, we had a cycle with me and my 4 leaders right below me, all controlling these people and getting them on these schedules and shifts so that they would mine coal exclusively during at least 1 hour of their gameplay every single day. And so we had like a couple hundred people that were a part of it, that were all on board with it. And what we had is we had an internal coal price and an external coal price. So everybody would sell their gold to me or my other leaders, and then we would go sell it on the exchange way marked up than what its market value should be. But of course, the problem is that we got to control the market value because we were the only ones with coal.
Nice.
Nobody else in the game had any coal. So we just kept on jacking up the price internally and externally, slowly over time, over like the course of like 2 or 3 months, to the point where gold was like unfeasibly expensive and people were mining like crazy or farming like crazy other things to get enough money to pay for coal so that they could make their mid-tier armors. And the whole point was we had done it so that it wasn't a high enough, because coal was like in the perfect spot. It wasn't required for super high level stuff. So none of like the really OG players who might actually like have some political pull with the devs would be affected by this. Only mid-tier players who have enough time in the game to not want to quit, but not so much time in the game to have any actual pull on the game state, were the ones affected by it. So it was like the perfect plan. And so we had this monopoly going for like 3 months, and we destroyed the market. Like all of the coal-based items were way more expensive than the late games items. It was really bad. We basically destroyed the RuneScape economy for a solid month. They were really upset with us, and they were trying to figure out what was going on. And so there were all these discussion posts on the RuneScape forums about all this stuff way back then. I don't even think the RuneScape forums are up anymore. I think that all this stuff has been dead now for so long, because this was like, once again, this is almost a decade ago. More than a decade ago, actually. And so none of it's alive anymore. And so all of this was going on, and we were just destroying this economy, and all of us were getting absolutely horrendously rich. And then the email came in, and I got the little ding, the notification telling me that the RuneScape team had sent me an email. And I was like, oh, here it goes. This is the end. Me and my 4 leaders, well, I got a year-long ban.
Okay.
All of my 4 leaders got 6-month bans, and everyone who participated in the Monopoly creation, which was all of the guild members that were on board with the whole mining thing, through that it could tell through the forum post and direct messages, they all got banned for a month. So all of us got banned. Like 500 people got banned, and they took 50% of all of what I had earned and what I had acquired in that time, They took half of it and just redistributed it amongst the community and just gave it to everyone as like a gift because I just had so much damage.
You got scammed.
Yeah. And then when they rebuilt the game, because they rebuilt the game so that they could support, because before it was like a web-based game only. And then they wanted to create their own Java client and stuff like that. So around this time when they were doing this like recreation of the game, they put in a couple of mechanics. First of all, they expanded the number of servers from 24 to like 48. So it'd be significantly harder to do something like this just because there would be more servers. They made some of the servers premium only, which was a big change. And then the other thing that they did is they actually added a hidden mechanic that they don't teach players, which is they added an exhaustion mechanic where if you mine or collect the same resource or fight the same enemies over and over and over and over again for a very long period of time, you'll slowly lose efficiency over time. And so they actually added that mechanic specifically because of this monopoly that we created on coal in 2010, something like that. I think before that, 2008.
Monopolies, other people called it clever use of game mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. We were just using the game mechanics. Come on, we just wanted to get rich. Anyways, after my year-long ban, I logged back into my account for like a couple of weeks, and I had millions of gold. At that point still. Had millions of gold. They had taken away all of my items, but they'd left me half of my gold. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I just went around to newbies and gave them like unreasonable amounts of gold. I was like, hey, you're at this point in the game, like you need some gold, right? And then I would just dump a crazy amount of gold on them through a trade. And then I would also do this because my spec was I had spec'd into unarmed combat extremely heavily. And so I would also just not wear armor and then get challenged. And I didn't look like I was at high level because I'd mainly done combat and mining. That was really the only two things that I cared about. So like all the other skills that everybody else was trying to max out, I wasn't maxing, and your max level is built out of your max level in all of the different traits. So if you only max out in 2 of them and you don't really dabble in anything else, you have like a low comparative level score to other people. Yeah, so people would like come to me thinking I was like a mid-level combat person because they wouldn't check my actual in-game stats. And then they would invite me out into the PvP area to try and steal whatever items or gold I had because they could see that I didn't have armor and that I didn't have, anything on me. I was just carrying gold. And
for
so
people that don't know, in RuneScape, when you die, you drop your items in the PvP zone.
Yeah. And so they would fight me and I would just beat the crap out of them with my bare hands. And it was really funny. These people with like mid-level gear that are like starting to get strong, just punched to death by me.
Out here being a RuneScape cryptid.
Yeah, exactly. And I did. I was known. My RuneScape name was known for quite a while on like the forums and stuff as a really nice guy and also a menace. I don't fucking remember. It was like a decade ago. It was probably the one Pookster, but I don't know. That's my ancient tag, but I'm not sure. I know I rebranded to that at one point. I don't know if that was during that time.
I don't know this, Tully, but RuneScape made like a big resurgence in the past couple of years.
Really?
Especially
I don't know.
YouTube. Yeah. Huh. When RuneScape Classic came out, a lot of YouTubers make content on it,
right? And
it just exploded all over the place. It was like
interesting.
It was a big like uprising for the RuneScape community, and it's still going on, kind of like to this day. I'll send you some videos about it.
Yeah, did they allow like account transfers, or did everybody start from day one?
I think everybody had to start from day one. I'm not
okay.
Sure.
All right,
but
I'm not really interested in playing the game anymore.
No,
I had my fun.
You need to reestablish your rule as the coal god.
True. The coal baron.
The baron of coal.
The coal baron.
The coal baron. Yeah.
That should be your new name when you log in.
That's my MMORPG story. And I haven't played very many other MMOs other than that and Dragon Nest. I played a bunch of Dragon Nest, which is a hot garbage game, but it's really fun.
I could not.
Hey, the characters are cute.
That's true. That's the whole thing. It's a gacha game, just like Genshin, only you don't have to roll. Look at that. Genshin could have just done that and, let you choose what characters you wanted. But
we played Terra for a hot second, and the character creation was pretty cool.
That's true. You could make some pretty adorable girls in that game, too.
Or adorable
guys. Yeah, or adorable guys in your case.
There you go.
Hey.
Gotta appeal to both sides here. Come on. This is 2022.
I mean, half the point of playing any Asian MMO is to make an attractive character and then just spin your camera around admiring them.
It's true.
I played Blade and Soul specifically for that purpose and PvP.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. I think I created a pretty cool character in Final Fantasy XIV and then realized that game is terrible. It's a bad game. Don't play it.
It looks cool, but then you just stand still and press your attack button.
I think it's 14. I don't know. Whichever one's an MMORPG.
That's 14, yeah.
That's 14. Okay. When was the last time you played that MMO? Because I've heard good things about it.
It was a few months ago.
But you have to remember, I'm also not a Final Fantasy player, nor am I really an RPG player, so... Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, the only two I've played really are I've played Dragon Nest, RuneScape, Terra, and Final Fantasy XIV. And then one more that I don't even remember the name of. But I played a tree person, and that was pretty fun.
A tree person?
Yeah, I was like a tree person. I don't fucking know. It was a tree dude. It was green. Had leaves on me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hippies.
Pretty much. I was a tree hugger.
Basically a D&D druid. Got it.
Yeah, I was a cleric too.
Yeah, basically a D&D druid.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, if I could be a D&D druid, I would absolutely do that.
So would
Career change, disappear into the forest. Never to return to society.
I was thinking if at some point we should turn the podcast into a D&D campaign.
I don't know.
An episode like a.
Welcome to the D&D episode. Roll your fucking character.
True.
No, not like a talking in the boy kind of thing, but have a sister podcast where we just play D&D. Maybe
it's true. We could do that. Fun. We could do that. I don't have very much time to play D&D though. Yeah. I don't have very much time to play D&D.
That's the thing. I know. I was thinking about you probably don't. You're already editing everything.
Yeah, so many of my friends are D&D DMs.
Aye.
So, quite honestly, I would be down as long as I can play a dumb character that I don't need to think.
Like every fighter I've ever met.
I don't want to be a fighter though. I want to be something else that just isn't required to think.
Warlock, Eldritch Blast every turn, Prophet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Moon Druid, spend all your time being wild shape.
Warlocks are charisma caster, right?
Yeah, charisma.
Yes.
Great, perfect. Okay, I'll play a Warlock with 5. I can barely talk. The intelligence right above a dog.
No, not again.
Yes.
Why don't you play a super smart character, but he's just a fucking asshole about being super smart?
Hey, it's hard to play a smart character. I'm an idiot.
See, yeah. I don't want to have to think. You're going about this the wrong way.
No,
this is not for in-character optimization. This is for out-of-character optimization. This is
D&D what we're talking about. If you just want to sound smart, you just go up to the DM and go, "Hey DM, do I know this?" And then you roll the dice, and then 9 or 10 times the DM's gonna say, "Yes, you know this," and you explain that to the party.
Want to have to roll dice to know things. I just want to have to not know things.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. It's way easier to just not have to
shiny
know.
Math rock, go click clack.
Yeah, and then, ideally I don't even roll dice. Somebody else can roll dice for me. I just say things, and then everyone groans because they're going to be dumb, and it's going to be great.
So basically you just want to talk until people are upset.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, ruin the whole thing by, getting us into very horrible situations consistently.
Hey, the way I play all of my D&D characters is to try and find whatever will instantly kill me. Like, the thing you really shouldn't touch, like, this button will instantly kill you, I will push the fucking button. You cannot stop me.
Oh, you mean
Exactly.
This one? Push.
Whoop. Whoop. Whoops, I'm dead.
Oh, I guess I'm in the ether now.
Exactly. Well, I mean, like, just give me a deck of many things. It'll be great. Don't worry about it.
Oh no, that sounds like
A deck of many things. Are you going to draw a card?
I
Draw
will.
all of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw cards until I have to stop
Who
or
wants
die.
who wants to play 56 pickup, takes deck of many things, everyone's screaming, just throws it in the air.
Oh no.
Jesus. It would be terrible, but it would be funny, you know? But yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Isn't there a character that starts with a deck of many things?
Yeah.
What? I hope not.
I think there is. I can't remember what book it is, but there was a character that lets you start with a deck of many things.
Yeah. At one point, I played a one-shot that Hades and I played as the PCs, and DJ McMahon, who might come on the podcast sometime, I don't know if either of them ever will, but was the DM, and we were fighting squirrels, and Hades started off with a deck of many things, and it was a problem because we spent the first...
Fighting squirrels, that was me. I ran that game.
Oh, you ran that? Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was me. Oh, okay.
I have the giant squirrel token here. You want to see the giant squirrel token?
That's right. Yes.
Let's fucking
It was you. You were DMing it. Yeah, don't you remember? Yeah, Noah started off with a deck of many things.
Yeah, I do remember that because it was a joke one-shot. So I made my own D&D tokens out of wooden circles. This is a big-ass fucking squirrel.
Yeah. Is that the one that I dropped an anvil on?
Squirrel.
That is sick.
Yes.
I dropped an anvil on that squirrel and killed a bunch of them. Because it wasn't just a giant squirrel. It was a giant squirrel that was a giant squirrel made from the interconnected bodies of other smaller squirrels.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Voltron Square. What the squirrel? What the hell?
Yeah, it was great. Anyways... Yeah, Noah started with a deck of many things. So the first half of the one shot, or actually like the first 3/4 of the one shot, was us unraveling the absolute chaos.
Right, you pulled cards and had to go on a side quest before you even got the plot hook.
Yeah.
I feel like someone got their soul stolen and you had to go get it, and then you could start playing the game.
I had to use Wish.
Right.
Yeah, I had... At some point, I'd drawn a card that gave me 1 9th level spell or whatever, I can't remember. And I was like,
oh, no.
Fuck it. I'm just going to use Wish to control Z and start from square one. And then it erased his memory, but not mine, because it was my wish, right?
Something like that, basically.
So he came back.
Everything that had just happened, it was like...
So he came back and was holding the deck of many things again, and I plucked it out of his hand and was like, no, we're not using this.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was a good time. And then we killed a bunch of squirrels, and he was a storm cleric that was basically Thor. And I don't remember what I played, but I got to drop anvils on things, and that was pretty much it.
I've started playing a cleric for the first time on the current D&D campaign that I'm in, and we just reached level 5. And I'm now starting to realize just how fucking overpowered the clerics are. They are so busted. Holy shit.
And a storm cleric, he's just Thor with axe. I don't remember. I think I played a bard. I usually play bards.
Bards are fun.
Bards are fun.
I was looking to our DM telling him, you're going to have to throw out 3 dragons at us if you want to do anything to us at this point. Because we have 2 clerics on the party.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have to fight like an actual god.
Like the other cleric,
that can be arranged.
The other cleric's just memeing around, but I'm actually trying to keep the party alive because if somebody has to fucking do it.
Right.
Then they are definitely not staying alive of their own accord. I'll tell you that much.
I'm not either.
I think
just
I mentioned this
healing them
on the previous episode of the podcast. One of our party members, even though animals are threatening her life, she refuses to fight animals. I would almost rather get eaten by the animal than fight them. So
Fair.
I guess that kind of
Vegans.
balances out. That balances out the two cleric thing a little bit.
Vegans.
Yeah.
Actual vegan in my party.
So,
Man, D&D
Hallik,
PETA.
yeah.
tell us what your relationship with Dick Butt is.
It's a funny meme. That's not even my favorite meme. Let me see if I can find my favorite meme, and then I'll put it on my
Yeah, put that as your background instead.
I actually have a cup of my favorite meme too. But let me first find it real quick. You guys talk about something else while I look this up.
Okay.
What was it?
Oh dear. What do we talk about, Ender?
You can't put me on the spot like that.
Okay.
My
You're
deep-seated
the
psychological
podcast.
issues. I don't fucking know.
We shouldn't talk about that on the podcast. That's
You sure?
that's a bucket of worms that will lead into my deep-seated psychological issues, and then I'm gonna have to put some tags on this stream.
Oh no!
Hey, you want to talk about your feelings? No, I do. I'm sad.
Don't be sad, be happy.
You can't be sad. You don't have enough money for that.
It's true.
Here it is.
I have. Oh no.
Oh, but it's mirrored in Discord. Ah, shit.
It's only mirrored in Discord. Stream can see it fine. Don't worry about
It's
it.
the right way around, yeah.
Yeah. I have a cup of that, and it's one of those cups that is like black, but when you pour something really hot in it, it changes and reveals the image.
Yeah.
That's the image that it reveals.
I have one of those, only it is my Discord profile picture, which I can throw up here, I think. But yeah, it's really fun. It's art that a friend made, and it's pretty cool. Let me see if I can find it here.
We love the tiny baby Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's actually Hacker Cthulhu. That's what it is.
Oh, hacker Cthulhu.
Yeah, let me.
He's gonna hack your reality,
I am.
and then you just go insane. Yeah, as Cthulhu does.
Is it not in here? Oh well. I think it's in my downloads somewhere.
On that
Yeah.
note, what caused the obsession with Cthulhu? I don't think that's something I know.
So I started reading H.P. Lovecraft when I was very young. I was probably like 12, 13 when I found Dreamers of Unknown Kadath first, actually. And it just intrigued me because at the time, I was struggling, I guess I should put tags on this podcast. I'm just kidding. I was struggling a lot with anxiety, and I was struggling a lot with how to interact with people and how to have conversations. Mm-hmm. And so ironically enough, the books that I found when I was 13 were very impactful because they were all about people who were outside of their comfort zone or outside of like where they were supposed to be. So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and H.P. Lovecraft were fundamental in like who I then became after that, because they were all about people who were struggling with anxiety and feeling like they don't belong and feeling like they're not in the place where they're supposed to be. And that's how I felt for a lot of my life, because I was in the homeschool community, but really didn't get along with very many people in it. I was in the farming community, the 4-H community, but really didn't get along with very many people in it. I was in the church community, but really didn't have any friends there. So it's like I was in all of these different communities where it was like I was supposed to be getting social interaction that was healthy, but I just didn't feel like I fit in. And when I started reading Lovecraft, I felt that in the background the whole time, because he did struggle a lot with anxiety, and it bleeds heavily over into his writing. And so essentially I started reading, and then I basically fell in love with the idea of these entities that are so powerful that humanity and our interactions with each other are affected by them because they exist, but they don't care. And that's how Cthulhu is. He doesn't really care about humanity. The ending of the world isn't really his goal. Like, he doesn't have a goal in that way. It's not like he's trying to end the world and bring about insanity. It's just a side effect of him existing. That's how powerful he is. It's like when you step on an ant mound, you may not be maliciously killing 20 ants, but it happens simply because you're big, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Like, to Cthulhu, humans are just ants. Of course, it doesn't play out very well in the book Call of Cthulhu in the short story, because then they knock him out with a ship, and that just makes no sense. But you know, it is what it is.
That's not what I heard. I heard that the ship, they just crash into it and nothing happens, and Cthulhu just walks it off.
Yeah, well, it's assumed that something happened because immediately after that he goes below the water. So a lot of people take it as that.
Flew a ship into your head, I feel like you would redirect your path as well.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, that's fair. Like, it's like a fly hitting your face, like, what the fuck? Go away.
And you know how you summon eldritch beings by just chanting their name? If a bunch of ants got it in a circle and started chanting, Tilly, 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 I think you'd pay attention to what they wanted just a little bit. Like,
I would not. I would kill them, which is exactly what Cthulhu does to his followers too. So, you know,
I guess I would be a more merciful god than you.
Yeah. You would be. I would not be. I would be like, no, I don't need anything worshiping me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Die. But yeah, no. And so I really kind of connected with the feeling behind the stories, a lot of it. The anxiety, the fear, the very existentialist nature of his writing. And then, you know, when I was rebranding, I was trying to come up with a way to make the name Tilly more interesting and more unique. And I was like, put Cthulhu in front of it. Very few people are named after Cthulhu because I hadn't met very many. I was wrong about that, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, you fucking were.
So now
he's a very popular god.
Yes,
he is a very popular god. As I've discovered, you know, there's lots of Rule 34.
Oh god, not that side of Tumblr.
Oh no.
Yeah, the real reason why I deleted my Tumblr isn't you know, because Tumblr is a cesspool. It's because they got rid of all of the stuff that I was interested in.
Yeah. Oh, that part of Tumblr.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do I mean by that?
Claim or statement.
What do you mean? What do I mean? I thought it was pretty clear. They removed all of the Cthulhu PORN, you know, and I saw no need for Tumblr after that.
Oh God!
It has outlived its usefulness.
So
reader passion.
So have you played that dating sim? What?
Sucker for Love.
Sucker for Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
big fan of that game.
I am. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lynetta, you get to bring about the end of the world. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Sometime I'll make you play it on my stream. It'll be funny.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a good time.
Have a nice playthrough of it.
Ender playing a dating sim. Oh no. Can you follow all of the instructions though and actually commit the ritual so that
I don't know.
The end of the world doesn't happen?
I don't know, man. I will say
I would probably die. Horribly.
I would say, though, the protagonist, very good smooth talker. You could learn a thing or two from him.
It's true. It's true.
That's for everybody, though.
It's true. It's true.
If you get to make a fucking outer realm entity blush, you've done something right.
It's true. It's true.
It's some form of accomplishment or another, and I believe, like, not enough credit is being given to that.
If you can make me blush, I'm impressed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You can't make me blush.
All right, that's it for today's show. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
No, you can't, Sam. You cannot. That is not you that is making me blush. Thank you very much.
Ivex, DM me what you were gonna
No,
I need to know
no. We're
this.
not talking about this on stream.
No, I'm telling her to DM it to me. DM it to me. Don't put it on stream.
We're not talking about.
Dim the lights, light a few scented candles, put on some tunes, have some nice stimulating conversation. As it would.
Oh no.
Anyways, what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. Sex?
That's that not the end goal?
Yes.
I don't know. Is that your end goal?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, that's step one, man. The end goal is much worse.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
First is holding hands, then sex, then world domination, then what's the end
Oh,
goal?
wait. Hold the fuck up. You have sex before you hold hands? Wait, no. Other way around. Never mind. Shut up.
Yes.
Don't judge me.
Third base
for
before
a
first
second
base
there.
always.
I thought that I was getting gaslighted or something for a moment there. Guys.
I played Mario Kart versus Drunk Ender last night.
And I did really fucking good.
You did. I think you're better at Mario Kart while drunk.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That I've been considering is getting a little tipsy before I start my streams to see if I can loosen up a little bit more.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
it
mean,
helps.
he drunked his way through a shortcut at one point where
It was very impressive.
he was very drunk and he couldn't see where he was going and he drove off of the edge. And it just so happens that he drove off of the edge and driving off of the edge resulted in him landing on a shortcut and making it. And if he hadn't done that, ironically enough, I would have beat him.
I was drunk enough that I don't know how many drinks I had, but I can still remember what we were doing, so I wasn't like
It's
blackout.
true. You weren't blackout, but you were like, I've had 4 drinks, and I'm like, no, you've had like
Okay.
6. And then he was like, I'm going to count the bottles, and I was like, okay.
It depends on the drink. So what?
To acknowledge the chat, drinking Among Us is an amazing idea,
That is
and I
true.
will absolutely do that. Call me.
Drinking Among Us
sometime.
is a great idea.
That does sound like a good stream, yeah.
I don't drink very often.
I have not played Among Us in over a year though, so I don't know what the new map even is like.
Among Us. Among Us is my favorite meme.
Among Us. Among Us. Anyways,
was not the memes we needed, it was the memes we deserved, to be honest.
Absolutely, we deserve that stupid fucking meme. But it's so funny.
It's the best and only way to play the game, according to your newest follower.
yeah. Which, thank you for following Miss Immortal. Miss Immortal is another streamer who might, come on the stream. So, come on the podcast. Another guest, potential guest. Maybe we could play. Maybe we could play Drunk Among Us. Yeah, another member of the cult. Welcome to the Coco cult. We don't have the Coco cam today. We only have
just right next to me.
the face cams, but the Coco cam is only online when Hallik is streaming, not when I am, because unfortunately I don't have a cute bunny.
Can you put it up for a moment?
Okay, there's Coco. Look at that.
Coco.
Look at
Rabbit.
that. Exchanging a face for a rabbit. I think, this is an improvement.
This is content right here.
Exactly, this is content.
All praise the fluffy bunny.
So adorable. Yes, all worship Lady Coco. We are all members of the Lady Coco cult, by the way.
Yeah.
Lady Coco is our god.
She is the true eldritch god of the stream.
It's true. I'm only a farce. I'm here to distract away from where the real power is, which is in Lady Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Existence is temporary. The rabbit is forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Ender was like, I've only had 4 drinks. And I'm like, no, you've had like 6. And then I was like, Jimmy had 3. And then Ender was like, yeah, well, let me count the bottles. And I'm like, okay, go count the bottles. And he was like, see, there are only 7 in there. And I was like, yeah. And there are 2 more on the counter that you drank. And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
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 So-
I took all those out this morning, and there was another person in my parking lot. I was like, I swear I had a party. I'm not an alcoholic.
except that you drank
Shut up.
2/3 of them.
Shut the fuck up. It's only
You're not
5%
enough.
alcohol.
It's true, but you're a lightweight, so it was pretty funny.
Right.
I can do whatever I want. I'm a fully functioning adult.
Sure.
Partially functioning
Sure,
adult.
sound like
I am an adult. Hello.
You're an adult. You are a misfunctioning adult.
Thank you. I do
You're
my best.
welcome. It's okay. At least you're not a malfunctioning adult like me. Anyways, Lady Coco is the god,
Yeah.
and yes,
All hail.
we should sacrifice all of the alcohol to Lady Coco.
Don't give rabbits alcohol.
Yeah, though.
It's true.
You'll bring up on
didn't-
the end of the world.
I mean, like, but we could burn it in her honor.
Ah, yes.
I don't
The
think she cares
sacrificial
either way.
pyre for the rabbit.
Fire.
Oh no. I don't think she cares either way, so just drink it or burn it, whatever.
I think we should burn it.
Oh, yeah.
Fire.
My favorite form of worship is Dionysus style. Get
Ah,
wasted and have a party.
there you
It's a
go.
pretty good form of worship.
How sad it is that we were born too late to beat Dionysus cultists.
I know. I mean, it's never too late. We can always start a new Dionysus cult.
New cult of Dionysus. Let's fucking go. Give me
Yeah,
the wine.
everybody.
Isn't that just what we now call college parties now?
Yeah, I was like, isn't that pretty much just Greek life? Although I hear that they don't have very many orgies.
No. Yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't
not
know.
frowned upon sometimes. It feels like.
I've never been invited to that kind of party.
Me neither.
Well, I guess I'm the only one.
Oh. Okay, tell that story.
Hold up. Yeah,
There's a story there. Okay.
Yeah, I've actually,
Content.
I've partially told this story, I think. So,
Oh yeah. Well, go on.
I have a very old friend who is no longer really a friend, more of an acquaintance. Who, you know, sorry if you're watching this, we haven't talked in a long time, but, you know, if you hear this, it's, you know, it's all good, but no animosity, hopefully. Anyways, this person was in a poly relationship and they were married, and she kept on telling me that she loved me and desperately wanted, to sleep with me. She lived in Texas. And yeah, this person's name is Kitty, and Kitty would regularly like, yo, we're going to be in such and such city doing a swingers night. You should come. And I'm like, when are you going to understand that I'm not interested in swinging? That's not what I want out of life.
Danger.
And so yeah, I've been invited many times to orgies, and it's weird.
Oh, God.
And then, you know, also got invited to one post breakup of my most recent ex, which was a weird experience to have. And I'm like, no, we're not together anymore. I'm not going to an orgy with you. Have fun, I guess. I don't want this. This is very weird.
I mean, you may have been homeschooled, but at least you were schooled enough to avoid that one, huh?
I was, yes. I was schooled enough. Well, yeah, I didn't tell anyone.
And now you've told everyone.
And now I've told everyone.
Good job.
And now she might watch this. And that'll be a problem, but you know, whatever. I don't fucking care.
I don't know if that came across, but I smacked the shit out of my microphone. I'm sorry.
It did not. Don't worry about it.
Came with fun.
But yeah.
God.
I just realized we didn't sync Audacity.
Oh, no.
Shit. I don't even have it running. Oh fuck.
Oh well, that's okay. I'll use the audio from the Twitch stream. I think it's mostly fixed now, so next time. Sorry,
Was I
everybody.
supposed to be recording
Scuff
too?
stream. Not anymore.
Editor's note, Hallik fucked up.
Yeah, that's my bad because I didn't remind everyone to do that. But it's okay. Next time, I'll just I'll pull the audio off the stream and try to
the one thing
fix
that
it.
Thule definitely lacks is just work to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's just gonna add more work to mine. It's fine. Anyways, yeah. So I've been
too easy.
invited to a couple of orgies, and I've always said no. Because it's weird.
You could have said yes and had an interesting experience.
You know, I've had more than enough interesting experiences without orgies.
That's true.
I don't need orgies to have interesting experiences, apparently.
You need to try new things, man.
Yeah. At least try it one more time.
Try new things.
Tully. Next time you get invited to an orgy, Tully, just give it a shot. Just put your foot on the doorstep. Like, just try it for 5 minutes, see what happens.
They say.
It's like they say, don't beat it until you try it.
Sharing is caring.
I think if I get invited to an orgy again, I'm going to say no again. Because
shame.
I don't want.
But Tully, if it's the third time's the charm, come on. The world is trying to tell you something,
No, it is not.
How many people in their mid-20s are invited to those types of events 3 times? Like
more than 3 times.
Okay, more than 3 times.
Shit. How does this fucking happen to you, man?
I don't fucking know.
I think
cursed or blessed?
Yes. I think when he burned all those snakes on that pit, he was the fucking and his soul is now cursed to be invited to an orgy every other year.
Yeah.
Set fire to the snake orgy, be damned until you partake in a human one.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in orgies, though.
Maybe you shouldn't have burned the fucking pit with snakes on it.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't have burned the snake pit.
For the curious listeners, try episode 2 of the podcast. I believe that's sorry, got told.
It's an insane story.
It is. It's a preposterous story. And it's one of my favorites. And I have others. I have more crazy stories that we have yet to unpack on this podcast.
Yeah, well, we have 40 minutes to burn, so go ahead.
Okay, so we did RuneScape already. Let's see. Yeah, we've got like 50 minutes left. We got 47 minutes left is I think where we're at. Have I told Fly Me Like a Kite on the podcast before?
That doesn't ring a bell. I might not even know that.
What? Oh, okay. I will be surprised if you haven't heard this story.
If I recognize it, I will speak up.
Okay. Well, I usually refer to it as Fly Me Like a Kite. This is a story that I have pretty well rehearsed, although I kind of tweak it each time I do it a little bit, just because I used to do this one on stand-up comedy. Basically, this is an explanation of what my life was like when I was very young. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, who haven't already watched the episodes where we talked about my childhood, I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere on a farm, literally so far out into the middle of nowhere that like my friends won't even come visit me most of the time. That's how far out there I am. It's insane. And also like we weren't allowed really to play on the computer very much or like watch TV or anything like that when I was very young. And so we were very bored and very tired all the time. And we just did a lot of stuff outside. And this is one of the stories that came about from that because, as they say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Well, we had a lot of idle hands. And so we
idle hands or idle hands.
I know.
That is such a Christian upbringing saying that it hurts.
I know, right? Anyways, so I was about 9, and I'm a small person now, right? We've already talked about this. I am like 5'4" and 100 pounds. I am very small, and as a result, when I was 9, I was much smaller than I am now. I was very, very small. And so when I was very small, my brothers used to, take advantage of my smallness by doing weird things to me. And this is one of them.
Oh, God. Don't get stuck, please.
For those who don't know, no, don't worry. It's not that kind of story. For those who don't know, when you used to get hay, we used to buy hay for our animals because we had a bunch of animals that we had to feed hay. And so we used to have but buy them by the hundreds of bale at a time. Like we'd order like 200, 300 bales and go and pick them up in these big trailers and then load them all and stack them. So many bales that they didn't all fit in our barn. So we would have to cover them with a hay tarp. Now these hay tarps are fucking huge. They're like 50 feet by 25 feet, maybe bigger. Like they're massive tarps. Okay.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. Go on.
My mom decided to go shopping and leave me in the hands of my capable brothers.
Worst decision.
Yeah, a terrible decision, by the way. Terrible decision to...
That's a big brother. I'm starting to see where this is going.
Leave me in the hands of those sociopaths. No, actually, they're great and they're awesome. And this was actually like, once again, I don't claim to be a victim here. I was all on board with it until right before it happened. And I was like, oh, thinking through a few things. And so, like, I must say, like, I am to blame, too. This was not an idea that they had. And then we're like, we're going to force our little brother into it. This was an idea that they had. And then they pitched it to me. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to go flying. That sounds fucking awesome. So they take twine, which baling twine is not a comfortable thing to be tied up with, by the way. Baling twine is uncomfortable and painful to be tied up with. And they tie me to this tarp, the four corners of this giant fucking tarp, right? Mm-hmm. As one does, because, you know, what else are you going to do when, you know, you've run out of alcohol and you're 9 and 12 and 15. Huh?
Did you say run out of alcohol when you're 9?
Moving on. So we'd run out of things to do. And so we were like, we're going to fly Tilly like a kite, because that sounds like a fun idea to do on a super, super windy day. Okay. So
when I was 9, I was fucking playing Diablo 2 on my computer and shit like this. You were fucking getting drunk, putting yourself in life-threatening situations, and correct. Getting straight up bullied by your older brothers.
Accurate. That is, yes, that's a correct assessment of what was going on when I was 9. Anyways,
not even gonna ask why is it that you know that being tied up by that hurts, but go on.
Because I was. Anyways, so I am tied to this tarp, and it's really windy. It's like 40-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, it's prairie, and when you're out on the prairie, winds get really, really bad. And so my brothers are, they're like, all right, it's time to go. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Exciting. I'm going to go flying. Fuck yes. And then I remember that, you know, kites, there's something holding them to the ground called a person that's holding the end of the string. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that.
I see.
Yeah, that was forgotten about.
Bye.
So my brothers are walking, you know, away from me to go take the rocks off of the tarp that they'd immaculately set up so it wouldn't blow away during this whole process, right?
Yeah, with rocks. Yeah, not nails or anything like that.
No, they're removing the rocks and throwing them to the side. And then holding the tarp down, right? And I'm like, what about, like, holding me down so that I don't just go off flying, kind of. I don't know. I didn't say anything like that because I was 9 and wasn't that coherent. And they didn't hear me, or my worries, or my concerns, or they ignored them, one of the two. I want to believe they didn't hear me.
That's the talking.
They were just tired of having a younger brother. You were about to be taken by the wind.
Exactly. I was about to be taken by the wind, so it was about to be problem solved. And so they lift up the edges of the tarp, and then I immediately realized that now there was nothing between me. It was just me and the sky. Right? That was those are the two entities at play here. It was me and it was the sky. And I was like, okay, I've watched enough like TV and stuff in my life in just small snippets
to know where this is going.
Yeah, to know that I need to like hold on to the ropes and try to like control this thing, right? So I'm like grabbing onto the twine, trying to exert some sort of control over my situation, which is not working. right? And so the tarp is going up, and I'm going up with the tarp now, right? Now we're both in the sky. I'm about 12 feet above the ground, and the tarp is about 30 feet ahead of me and up, right? And my brothers have now, I think at this point, realized their mistake. But I'm going pretty fast already.
Some people call it mistakes. All the brothers, we call it lack of foresight, but go on.
Yeah, lack of foresight. And so I'm just up there, like moving along pretty fast, like pretty terrified at fucking everything now. Because this is scary. It's me in the sky, and that's it. There's nothing else, right? And then the tarp folds in half.
Oh, yeah, because it's
the wind catches it just right.
Oh, no.
And it folds in half, top down to the bottom. And if you know anything about physics, what happens then is the tarp goes down, and then a third player got involved in this story. You know, up to this point, it's been me in the sky. Well, now it's me in the sky and the ground. And I'm not looking forward to meeting the ground, and the sky doesn't seem to give a shit. So I'm going down, and I remember very little of what happened next. I remember pain and dirt and weeds, and then pain and gravel.
So I see now why is it that you're still 5 foot nothing.
Yeah, and then pain. And that's pretty much all I remember of this moment. Apparently my brothers had grabbed two of the rocks and run after me while I was flying through the sky. And then they saw me collide with the ground, and I was dragged by the tarp about 40 feet to 50 feet across a dirt road. And I was just beat up, right? I didn't have any broken bones, miraculously, but I had massive road burn on, like, all down my right side and my entire back. It was very uncomfortable. So my brothers catch up. They throw rocks on top of the tarp and free me from the tarp by knife, because that was the fastest way, right? And I'm starting to come around at this point to be coherent again. Mm-hmm. And so they're like asking me all of the normal things of like, can you wiggle your toes? Can you move your fingers? And everything seems to be functioning.
Can you not tell mom later tonight?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I already knew not to tell mom. They didn't. That was unspoken. We all knew not to tell mom. Which is part 2 of this story.
Okay.
And no, she probably won't watch this. So yeah, this is part 1 of the story. Part 2 is the part that involves mom, which we're about to get to. So my brothers come up and they're doing, you know, first aid shit, like wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Can you talk? What day is it? What's your name? Making sure that I don't have brain damage, right?
It's still insane that you're not dead.
I know, right?
I find it funnier that their brothers know first aid at 12 years old, but go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had already, like, stabbed ourselves at this point and dressed wounds, like...
Clearly that was a good move.
Yeah, like, we were trained because they knew that we were going to be dumb, and we knew that we were going to be dumb, and we were going to at least not die if we were dumb, or at least try not to die if we were dumb.
If you're going to be dumb, you better be tough.
Exactly. That was the mentality. And so they were like, okay. And James was like, all right, you're fine. So they pick me up. Right. And James, by the way, I'm 9. That means Daniel is 12 and James is 15. So James is like 15 at this point. He's, you know, almost an adult. So yeah, and he was obsessed. He was obsessed with flying, which is, you know, the part of the premise of this.
Explains it, yeah.
Should have tied it to the fucking tarp.
Yeah. So they pick me up and they're like, all right, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Like, you'll be all right. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. Like, I'm bleeding a little bit, but, you know.
Profusely bleeding, that's all.
This isn't the first time I've been bleeding. I'll be all right. I've ruined a shirt and a pair of pants, but you know what? That's, you know, small sacrifices to pay for flying for a while. You know?
Gotta break some eggs if you want to make an omelet.
Exactly. Gotta break some skin if you want to fly. Anyways, so my brothers, they're holding me up, right? And they're like, all right, you're good. So they let go of me. And I take one step and immediately crash into the ground. And I'm like, guys, when is the world going to stop moving? And they're like, the world's not moving. And I'm like, oh, we have some problems here then. I see. This is an issue. When I get concussions, I get extreme vertigo, like real bad vertigo.
Because people just get
like
concussions.
Can't walk vertigo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have many of the symptoms, but I do have the vertigo. So, I'm there, lying on the ground, and my brothers are like, oh shit. We broke him. We broke our little brother.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so they're like immediately, all right, we got to cover this up, right? Like mom can't know.
This is why children
mom can't find out. Yeah.
Because they're like, I can't tell mom when they need to go to the hospital.
Yeah. They take me into the house, and they set me on the couch, and they put on The Princess Bride, which is one of the few movies that we were able to watch. Which is a great movie, by the way. And so...
Oh, wait, that's not a Disney movie.
We're watching The Princess Bride, and my mom comes home from shopping. And we're not allowed to be watching TV at this time. Like, this wasn't what was supposed to be going on. So she's immediately suspicious because she knows us, right? And me and James, we're good liars. Daniel is not a good liar. So James and I are immediately like, all right, cover it up. Mom doesn't need to know. Right? So I'm lying on the couch, being a barely not vegetable, and watching The Princess Bride. And mom is like, what the fuck are you guys doing inside? Like, why are you watching TV? Not in those words, because my mom doesn't curse. Right. But that was the tone, right? The tone was angry and worried. Because that's, she raised us.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Angry and worried was a rational state for her to be.
Another, and she knows it.
So she's angry and worried, and she looks at us. She looks at James, and she's like, what happened? Why are you inside? And James is like, it's too windy outside to be outside. And mom was like, no, it's not. I know, you fucking morons. You don't come inside when it's windy. You fucking go out there and you punch the wind like it's an enemy.
Don't need shelter.
Yeah, you're feral children. You don't come inside when the weather's inclement. You'll just stay out there and die if I don't yell at you. You fucking idiots. That's not true.
Why did tornado?
And so she's immediately like, no, that's not true. What's the truth? And Daniel, in his infinite lack of wisdom and intelligence, we'll say in D&D terms, he rolled to bluff and rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
Because his response was, Tilly can't walk. Assuming, that there wouldn't be follow-up questions. that would just answer.
Yeah. Like your mom's like, oh, got it. Understood, child. Have a good day.
Right,
I'm gonna go
fine. Yeah, have a good day. Problem solved. Perfect. Right,
understood.
But no. Mom is like, what? And James, immediately backpedaling and trying to damage mitigate, is like, all right. We were outside. We tried to fly Tilly like a kite with the tarp. Like, it was fun. Don't worry. He'll be fine. And then my mom sees my, bandaged up arms and shit, and is like... immediately from rage level like 4, which is a normal state for her, to just 11, screaming. And out here, we have a lot of Latino neighbors, or we had a lot of Latino neighbors, And my mom doesn't wear these anymore because my brother used to wince when she would walk around. But she used to wear chanclas because it's like a farm life thing out here. If you don't know what a chancla is, you know, it's a wooden flip-flop. And the common consensus amongst mothers who wear them is that you hit your kids with them. Mm-hmm. And it fucking hurts.
It does.
It's trauma-inducing. This is why we wince when we hear people walking around in wooden shoes. And so my mother, she kicks off her chanclas. And right, my mom is a small British woman, zero Hispanic. Not even a little bit. But she started whooping us. Or them, I should say. Because, you know, I've had enough pain for one day.
You're already shit.
I'm already broken. And just saying, like, I don't think I've ever heard my mother that angry in my life. Right? And so my brothers are just getting the shit kicked out of them. And I'm just sitting on the couch like a good 9-year-old, like, I can't do anything about this. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this was not my I'm 9. I don't know what to do here.
Man, the brothers' first sentences were so perfect. 1,
yeah.
Tuli can't walk. 2, yeah, we tried to fly Tuli.
Yeah. Like trying to damage, you know, mitigate, like make everything moderately okay, but absolutely fucking not.
Make that
you
shit
can't,
up.
It's not, yeah, you can't. You can't make this shit up. This is real life in my life, okay? This is the kind of thing where I used to talk to people about, like, and they were like, holy shit. And I'm like, wait, this isn't normal? Like, no. I did dumb shit like this all the time. Like, what are you talking about? Like, jumping off of barns, free running? Like, that's what I did. Like, what do you mean you weren't 12 and jumping off the tops of houses? Like, what do you mean that wasn't normal? That was normal for us. But anyways, so then my mom, you know, does the eyes flash and realizes I have a concussion. And then we go to the hospital the next day and I spend a day in the hospital being assessed by doctors to make sure that I don't have brain damage. And then they assess that whatever damage there is to whatever the squishy parts inside my brain isn't life-threatening enough for me to stay in the hospital. And I'm sent back home. Yeah.
My God.
And
sometimes
you know,
you get your brain bumped.
Somehow, CPS was never called on my family. I don't know how. Like, I have, you know, done self first aid on nails in my feet and shit.
That's when the parents fucking threaten their life. But if the siblings threaten each other's lives, that's called something different.
Yeah.
An internal issue.
Yeah, it's well, I mean,
there's only so much the government can do to protect children from themselves.
That is true. Yeah, our parents didn't let us have a trampoline.
Oh, thank God.
You would be dead if you had a trampoline.
We would be dead.
You would have tried to kite your way up 20 feet up high and then try to trampoline you to safety.
Exactly.
It wouldn't even take you 15 minutes to be jumping off the roof and onto the trampoline.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? That wasn't even idea 1. Jumping off the roof onto the trampoline was idea 0. That was why we wanted a trampoline. Like, we would have come up with even worse things to do with a trampoline.
That was the basis.
That was the goal. Is we were like, listen, if we get a trampoline, we can jump off the roof and not almost hurt ourselves. Because like we were already jumping off the roof, but at least a trampoline is softer than the ground.
No, you would have jumped off the roof. You would have realized that you still keep forward momentum, and you would have kept going forwards into the ground anyway.
No, we wouldn't have realized that until it was too late.
Until you were hitting the ground, yeah.
Well, no, we would have realized it. Yeah, we would have realized it slightly before hitting the ground.
Jump first, think later.
Yeah, we would be on the trampoline, and then we'd hit the trampoline, and we'd think, this is perfect. And then we would see the ground below us, and then we'd be like, I have made a miscalculation.
Mistakes are made.
Like, we're bad at math. I can see, like, this was a calculated decision, but we're not good at calculations.
No.
So, yeah.
I'm doing 100 equations per second and they're all wrong.
Exactly. So, yeah. So that's Fly Me Like a Kite.
I like that the stories have their own titles to them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I've told these stories on stage, so like I have them written down in notebooks where I wrote down my stand-up comedy ideas.
Nice.
We also took a tarp and created a go-kart that was wind powered.
Because the last time you tried wind power, that went so
Hey, wind power is very powerful, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I absolutely strapped a kite to a skateboard once, but that was nowhere near as intense as yours.
yeah, I mean, we had like a dead go-kart with wheels on it, and we just attached a tarp to it.
I need to
with rope.
I need to AFK for like
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, bye.
5 minutes. I hope this doesn't destroy your setup.
No, you're fine. Oh shit. It did destroy my setup.
Everything's terrible now.
Everything's broken.
Ah, my head's
Hold on
been
a
cut
second.
off. Hey, look at my shoulder. No, it's this arm.
I need to edit this transform. Hold on a second.
Well, when I was a kid, I once built a boat out of cardboard and rowed it out to the middle of a lake, and then it sunk. And that was my crowning achievement
Hey, it's
of
pretty good.
things I built as a child.
That explains,
I spent like a full year designing and building a boat out of cardboard, and then realized as I was sinking, like, I should have put the waterproof paint on the cardboard before I glued it all together, because now there are parts of it that aren't waterproof on
that
the
makes
inside.
sense.
So the cardboard, of course, got soggy and sank.
We built a fully functional sail for canoes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Me and my brothers, we all built it together, and then we would go and we would go out on a lake where we live, like near where we live, and we would just coast around and we would pretend to be pirates, and we would land on rocks in the middle of the lake and anchor the ship and just climb around on these rock formations in the lake, and then jump off and swim back to the boat and get back in and then keep sailing. And we would also, like, if we had friends with boats, we would go board them and pretend to be pirates.
I took like a sailing day camp once as a little kid, where we would sail these 2-person boats. I would totally buy a little 2-person sailboat and go sailing again. It was so much fun. Just
That would be awesome.
zip around a lake.
Yeah, but you always have to be worried about sailboats, because if you get hit by wind wrong, you can tip
You just
really
flip
easily
over,
on
yeah.
those little ones, and then you're screwed.
Yeah, one of the first things you learn to do is how to flip the boat back over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely the crowning achievement of that camp is me and my partner were out, like, I don't know, maybe 200 feet, so not super far from shore. And the wind died, and we were like, crap, now what? And I jumped off, grabbed a rope, and swam the boat back.
Nice.
So, yeah.
The other thing that we would do is I have 2 of these stories, one for summer, one for winter. I'll tell the winter one worse because I almost died, but it's actually significantly safer than the summer one, which I didn't almost die doing, which I think is kind of funny. So we used to have horses, and we still have a horse, actually, which it is this horse that I'm talking about is a horse that we have. But we had my brother used to really like riding horses.
Yeah.
And so what we would do is we would take a rope, which, a lot of our ideas involved tying things to other things that weren't supposed to be tied together.
Explains a lot.
And in the winter, we would tie a sled to the horse.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah. And then we would just have the horse gallop at full speed
Hell yeah.
and us ride the, flimsy, very small sled right behind the horse at like 40 miles an hour, you know?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, except for on the edge of our property, there are telephone posts.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so we were riding around the edge of our property, and my brother came up to the telephone posts and made a hard right, not realizing that physics would mean that would send me right into a telephone post. And at this point, I was old enough. I was not young enough to hold on and pray to God anymore. I was old enough to bail. And I was like, oh shit, that's a telephone post. And immediately bailed the moment I was scared and just jumped off, right? And then I slid like 14 feet on the snow, just bodily sliding on the snow. And I stopped literally head touching the post. Like my hat was pushed further onto my head by the post. And I was like, I almost died. Oh shit. And then my brother, right, who was like, if you fall off, I'll just come back and get you, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now he is going super fast across the prairie. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Well, after I bailed off the sled flew up into the sky. And the horse got fucking terrified by this thing chasing it in the sky and bucked him off and just fucking sprinted. And so, let me get Hallik back here. There we go.
Amazing.
And so the horse is just sprinting across the prairie. Daniel and I are off the horse now. I'm off the sled. Daniel's off the horse. Daniel and I have to go chase down the horse and recover the horse that like ran through a barbed wire fence because it was so terrified from the sled.
What the? I walked in myself.
The other thing that we used to do, which is considerably dumber, so everyone who is listening to this, who is trying to pull ideas out of my childhood, don't do this because you'll die. We would take, so when you live out in the middle of nowhere, your cars eventually die because that's just how it works. And also your tires go bad really quickly because dirt roads are bad for tires. And so what we would do is our neighbor had a four-wheeler, and we would pop old tires out of the rims and just tie them to the four-wheeler and then just drag them around with people inside the tires at like 40 miles an hour.
I've done that too, yeah.
Redneck inner tubing.
I have,
on the dirt.
I have.
Have you ever fallen off?
No, but I was lucky enough not to fall, but I was definitely in it. I
didn't fall off.
We never went as fast as 40 miles per hour, but
yeah, I never fell off. Our neighbor was driving, and his little sister was riding, and she fell off and she broke her collarbone.
Damn.
And that was when our parents were like, all right, you're not doing that one anymore.
Yeah, stop doing that shit.
That's done. And we were like, but it's fun. And they were like, but it's also stupid. And we were like, yeah, but fun. And they were like,
fun and games until some idiot breaks their bones.
Yeah. And they were like, you are lucky. They had to explain to us, like, you are lucky that it was only a collarbone and not like a neck. And we were like, you know what? Fair. All right. That's an argument that we can understand.
You know what? I would love to hear some of the conversations. I would love to be a fly on the wall on whatever doctor's office is it that you guys have to go to every time something happens like this shit.
We had, well, first of all, redneck doctors. There's that. That's a whole thing. One of the doctors that we went to, it's actually the one I went to for the Fly Me Like a Kite incident, wasn't a real doctor. Well, she was a real doctor. She had an MD.
All right.
She was licensed and everything, but she is a rural house call doctor. That's what she does. So she sees patients either in their homes or in her home. She doesn't have an office. and she just does it as a retiree. Like she's retired from being an actual doctor. Another doctor that we went to was actually, we called him a doctor. He was a veterinarian.
And you were wild animals. Come on.
This is a common rural thing, by the way. Or at least I know a bunch of people who live in the middle of nowhere who have done this before, which is veterinarians have to have similar skills to a doctor. So like if you get cut and you're bleeding out and you don't know what to do and an ambulance is too far away, but you can get to a veterinarian, they can at least keep you alive. You know? So for real emergencies, there's a veterinarian that lives about 5 minutes away from us. And so for like ultra emergencies where we're like somebody might be bleeding out or 3rd degree burn level shit on large parts of bodies or snake bites, it's like you call 911 and Flight for Life and you call the vet and the vet shows up and stabilizes them. And then the paramedics are like, the fuck is this person doing here? It's really funny. And then we had a general practitioner's office that was kind of in a ruralish area, in a small town. And they also were just like chill about stuff because people get hurt on farms. And it's way like the part of the thing is
clearly they do.
If you lecture a cowboy because he does a dumb thing and gets hurt, they're just not going to come back again. So real doctors figured out pretty quickly, like, we just shouldn't talk about it. Like, even if we're like, you should take better care of yourselves, even if that's what we think, we should not tell them that, because then they just won't come back again. You know? And so, yeah, it's an interesting culture. But yeah, our general practitioners were, I'm sure, judgmental, but not enough to ever do anything about it. So yeah, there you go.
Oh my god. Well, God bless those practitioners for saving your team.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
A couple of them contra folk fixes.
Yeah. I have 2 scars on my right foot from really stupid things. With same person that did Snake.
No.
On one of them.
That's a story for another episode, I feel.
Yeah. So I have more episodes and I have many scars. I have so many scars. Jeez. I don't know if Ender has ever heard my scar count, but I have like hundreds.
That's
I have like
insane.
Hundreds. Yeah.
I have 2.
Yeah. I have 2 on my right knee and 2 on my right foot.
I have one on my knee from when I was a little kid. I tripped on a broken tile and ate shit. And the broken tile cut the fuck out of me. And I have one on my hand because I punched a fireplace on accident.
Wow. Smart.
My dad has a scar on his hand because one of our family friends had a cabin with a real fireplace in it, like a wood burning fireplace. Right. And it had like a special thing to open up the handle, like a handle that you like take out of the movement arm to actually like keep it from burning you because it gets really hot. And my dad didn't remember that, and he just grabbed the handle of the fireplace and got like a 3rd degree burn along the entirety of his palm. And now he has a scar.
What?
Wow.
Well.
Yeah. I have a scar on my left index finger from where my older brother almost cut my finger off with a pair of scissors.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, from where Daniel almost cut me off with a pair of scissors.
I don't even know if I should feel surprised at this.
Yeah. I have a scar on my right thumb that makes it so that I have to change my fingerprint lock on my phone like once a month because the scar will change sizes depending on like the seasons and how tan my hands are, and also will change sizes over time. So I have to keep on redoing my fingerprint locks for my thumb as the scar shrinks, because I cut my thumb to the bone and cut my fingernail in half on my thumb, whittling.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely cut myself a lot whittling as a kid too, but I never got scars from it. Just casually stabbed myself.
Never
that bad though.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about scars. I'm gonna sound like a little bitch compared to you guys. Especially Tilly. I'm just
my dad.
The amount of scars that I have undisclosed.
So this is the last story I'll tell.
Right.
And this is the story that will teach you. It will advise you on why me and my brothers are the way we are. Because
would love to hear that one.
it's a story about my dad. It's a hunting story about my dad.
The source of all of this.
Nice.
From many years ago. And of course, my dad is the fundamental role model for me and my brothers because we were homeschooled. Right. And so this is actually a relatively recent story. This happened after all of me and my brothers were adults, but it's just the kind of thing that would happen. So it just is an example. My dad and all of us are avid hunters. We go every year elk hunting up in the mountains, and the area that we go is very far away from everybody, and it's very far away from any medical aid. And so it's like, if something happens up there, you're probably dead, most likely, unless you know what you're doing, which is why we all know like first aid and how to dress wounds, and we all can do hand sutures on ourselves, which I've had to do once. But that's a story for another time. And so my dad is out hunting alone because this was a bull elk hunt. It was an archery hunt. And so it's late on a Sunday evening when he shoots the elk and gets it on the ground. And so he is field dressing the elk in preparation of moving it and getting it all out of the area that he's in, because the area that we go into, you can't like drive to where you shoot. You have to actually backpack whatever you kill out. And so we have to field dress everything, and we have to take multiple trips. And so in the middle of field dressing this elk, and my dad, we have hunting knives that are 3-inch folding blades is usually what we use for field dressing elk. It's convenient to carry around, and it also makes a really nice blade. Just it's mobile enough, and it has enough blade for you to do everything that you need. So he is working with a knife that's a little too dull, which one thing that any hunter will tell you, or anybody who's used to working with knives will tell you, a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife.
Yes.
And so
Big truth.
Working with a dull knife is very dangerous because you have to put a lot of weight behind it. So he's working with a dull knife, and he's running out of light, so he doesn't really want to sharpen it because it takes a while to sharpen those knives. And so he's working really fast, and he slips. And he buries the entire blade up to the hilt in his calf.
Ugh.
I don't like that mental image at all.
Uh-huh. Now,
Probably hurt like a bitch.
yeah.
Yeah, if he gets to the right artery, he's dead on the spot. But go.
I know. And so, well, he didn't, thank goodness. He knows
clearly.
that. We all know that. But, you know, he's sitting there with a knife in his leg thinking, what do I do? And so he pulls the knife out, which is not what you're supposed to do, but
No.
you know.
I feel like you didn't have a lot of options in this instance.
Exactly.
You
And
can't
so-
just walk to the hospital.
Bandages the wound. And here is the most extreme part of the story. All right.
All right.
And this will advise you.
That wasn't extreme enough as it
Yeah,
was
this
all.
will advise you on how me and my brothers grew up to be the way we were.
All right.
He wraps it up really tight with a bandage, because we all carry first aid kits in the field because we're smart. not really, but we're planning on being dumb, so we carry first aid kits.
There you go. That's more.
Wraps it up real tight, puts his boot and sock back on, finishes field dressing the elk,
Of course.
puts a 50-pound hindquarter on his backpack, and starts hiking out.
My God.
Badass.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop there.
Does he go back for the rest of it?
He meets his friend back at camp. It's like 9 p.m. at this point, right? And the elk is like an hour walk away. Drops first quarter and says, let's go get quarters 2 and 3 and 4. And Glenn goes, let's do it. And so they get up and they walk back out to the elk and pick up the elk, get the rest of it on their bags, and start hiking out again.
You know?
And my dad's moving a little slower. My dad's moving a little slower than normal, and Glenn is like wondering what's up, but isn't asking anything.
What is that red trail you're leaving behind?
Yeah. Now, they get everything back to camp and they get it in the coolers. And then my dad sits down and they start a campfire. And here's the reason my dad kept it from Glenn this whole time.
All right.
Glenn is very squeamish about blood.
Same.
And so now my dad is like, well, I should probably take a look and see how bad this is. Now that we've already walked for 4 hours on it. With several hundred pounds of meat total.
Dude. Intense.
So he pulls off his boot and pours the blood out.
Oh, no.
I didn't like that sentence.
That had pooled in his Gore-Tex boots.
Well, that's one way of tagging.
And Glenn looks up and goes, what was that? And my dad goes, you don't need to come over here. And Glenn was like, John, what was that? And Glenn goes, I'm coming over there. And Dad's like, you don't need to do that. You're not going to be happy. And Glenn comes over, takes one look at my dad's leg, and full on faints.
Jesus, fuck.
Just kablump.
Holy fuck.
Right on his face. So now my dad has to dress his wound and revive his friend who has passed out in hunting
Wake
camp.
the fuck up, bitch. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so that is the man that raised me and my brothers. And that is why me and my brothers are the way we are. Because pain is just a state of mind.
No, because the fucking apple does not fall far from the tree.
Exactly. And pain is just a state of mind. As long as you just push through it, everything will be fine.
I feel
I don't
awfully ill
recommend
now.
this.
Remind me never to go into the wilderness with you or your family.
No, we're the best people to go into the wilderness with. You know why?
Because you're gonna put me in a kite and fly me?
No, because if something goes wrong, we know exactly what to do.
Oh.
Stabbed, but you'll live.
If you go into the wilderness with me and disaster hits, at least I can make sure you don't bleed to death.
Okay, you need to understand that everyone who lives in our area, their zombie apocalypse plan is to find Tilly.
Yeah.
Listen, I see the whole thing. Like, I'm glad that you have the skills to like first aid treat someone and prevent someone's death. But here's the thing, in my opinion, not stabbing yourself, not flying yourself 30 feet up high, and not putting yourself in stupid situations to begin with, the best medicine.
But how else are you going to have fun?
I am blessed that indeed we live in the era of the internet, because that's fun enough for me. Listening to you is all the fun I need. That's enough fun for
I did a speech. I did a speech in middle school entitled "Do Hard Things." That's how I was raised. Do hard things, not that kind of hard thing.
Shut up.
Oh yeah. Anyways. Yeah, no, I'd have instantly died. I'm such a bitch that when the surgeon explained my wisdom teeth removal process to me, I fainted just listening to the description of what was going to happen.
Oh, you just reminded me. I need to get my wisdom tooth removed.
So do I.
Yeah. Stupid fucking teeth.
You don't have to do anything. You clearly will survive whatever fucking bullshit goes on.
You'll pull it out with a pair of pliers.
Yeah. Say, why don't you save yourself the fucking
save myself the expensive doctor's appointment and just yank him out with a pair of pliers.
Yeah, you sleep on it and then you're good to go.
That's what real cowboys do.
Yeah, clearly.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even joking. I know. I have a neighbor who has pulled out infected teeth with a pair of pliers.
I wish I had
on himself.
Ugh. Ugh. I'm thoroughly grossed out.
That's all the time we got for today's episode. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the podcast.
Hopefully, I didn't horrify you too much.
Please do not pull your teeth with your own pliers.
Do not
visit a professional. Get that.
This is going to be a PSA right here. Do not do any of the things that I have done. Do not be like me. I am not a role model. I am a moron.
Thule is all the Thule this world needs. So let's
do not be like me. Do not carry on any of my traditions. Be smarter. Learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
That is the lesson here. But yes.
Well, thanks for including me. It was a time.
Thank you so much for joining. Do you want to shout out yourself in any way?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm cool as fuck.
It's true.
I don't stream. I don't produce content in any way, shape, or form. I would like to eventually, but it's probably not going to happen. So.
Yeah, he's a DM. He's already busy.
Yeah,
it's true.
I love DMing. If you want to play fucking Dungeons and Dragons, hit me up.
It's true. You're in the Discord server?
On everything. I am on the Discord server.
Awesome. You're in my Discord server? I think you're in Hallik's Discord server.
I am on also Hallik's Discord server.
Lovely. Find him there if you want to have a fun time playing D&D. Hallik, where can we find you, good sir?
I stream at twitch.tv/Hallik25. Next week is going to be big patch for Genshin, so I'm going to be playing the shit out of that. And then the week after is going to be the biggest patch for Rusty Hearts in a long time, so I'm also going to be playing the shit out of that. Shut the fuck up. And, Tuli, where can we find you?
You can find me here, twitch.tv/Cthulhu Tilly. You can find our podcast anywhere podcasts are found, Chatting in the Void. You can find me at Cthulhu Tilly on TikTok, as well as Instagram, as well as Twitter, as well as go ahead and join my Discord server, as well as Hallik's Discord server. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the Twitch chat real quick. It'll also be below the videos and below the podcast if you listen on those platforms. So please go ahead.
I would like to point out to our few listeners that indeed this is Tuli's hard work. I'm just here for the personality.
Thank you.
He does all the editing. He does all the uploading and all the work. I'm just the face of the stream.
and I'm learning more skills to make it better. So, and I'm going to try to, this week, I am actually going to try to, if I have time tomorrow, create Instagram and TikTok and everything and Twitter for just chatting in the void. So we'll be able to shout those out in the future and link them so that we actually have a podcast kind of thing as well. But yeah, thank you all for joining. That's it for today. Have a wonderful Saturday, and look for tomorrow evening. The podcast episodes will be out on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, pretty much just anywhere where you can listen to a podcast. It'll be there. Please go ahead and give it a listen. Thank you so much.
This is all just a repository to log all of Tule's crazy bullshit to.
It's true.
To show to future generations to show to people, to future generations, what happens when you touch too much grass.
Exactly. Don't touch too much grass.
Stop touching grass.
Yeah. We appreciate you listening to Chatting in the Void with Cthulhu, Tilly, and Hallik. You can find a video version of our podcast on YouTube and our audio podcast anywhere where podcasts are found. Go give Hallik a follow at twitch.tv/Hallik25 and catch our podcast live at 7 p.m. EST every other Saturday. Have a wonderful day, or night, or whatever. Thank you for joining us in the Void. Hope to see you next time.